Hello, everyone. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Amber, and this is my sacred ministry. Today is Saturday, March 21st. The spring equinox was yesterday, the first day of spring, the first day of the year of the fire horse, and the first day of Aries season. Also, the beginning of the next cycle, the next era of time. Saturday is ruled by Saturn, who is currently at 3 degrees of Aries. The Sun is moving to the first degree of Aries and into a conjunction with Neptune. The time of the spiritual warrior has arrived. Aries is self, Neptune is spirit. And the Sun is God. The Moon is currently in Taurus. And Taurus being the first earth sign, or our first experience of our mother, also rules over the second house of resources and nourishment. Mars is at an exact trine to Jupiter. Mars is 15 degrees, trining Jupiter 15 degrees. Jupiter is conjunct the star Sirius, our spiritual sun or Christ consciousness. And Mars in Pisces, Pisces is the spiritual house. What does this look like? This looks like spiritual warrior. This looks like taking action according to a higher purpose, a higher cause. And Mercury has stationed direct on the North Node, also in Pisces. So this is spiritual information being communicated, movement of truths long hidden in many cases. Balance is being restored. Today is a 7-day numerologically, and this is forward movement. This is chariot energy. It is also related to the number 77 or 777, which in and of itself is completion. It is reflection upon reflection. Ascertainment of wisdom, spiritual wisdom. Okay, so this morning I had a dream about Mary Magdalene as the feminine partner of Jesus, both of them being teachers, powerful spiritual leaders. And Jesus took upon himself the Christ force, or God took into his physical body, and Mary took in the feminine aspect of Christ, which is the Sophia. And so the two of them were the perfect combination of both the masculine and feminine, the Christ and the Sophia. And they taught together and they moved together. They balanced each other. They activated one another. And the feeling that I had this morning was the masculine aspect was angry at the treatment, the perspective of Mary or the Sophia as being less than what she is. Won't be tolerated, I'm hearing. So there was that. Jesus was a life path 33. 33 is master teacher. Jesus came to clear the karma of humanity. Mary came to clear karma for lineage. And the pistos, Sophia, is what would be known as divine intelligence or spiritual wisdom. Okay, so as soon as I woke up, I heard Gospel of Mary Magdalene, the 7 levels of the soul. The reason that this is coming forward now is because we have just passed over the 0 point on the zodiac wheel. This is the reset, the rebirth, divine blueprint is restored. The water in your body is actually liquid crystal, and it will form patterns and pathways to take in the light coming from the sun or the Christ and move it through your system in such a way that unlocks your being, refracts onto itself the reflection within the reflection, the mirror of the mirror. Divine counterparts are said to be mirrors to one another. Jesus and Mary would be divine counterparts. With a new beginning comes an ending, and with an ending comes a release. And for me, I declare that I release with love the laws of man. I receive and embody the laws of God, the love of God, the light of God, the wisdom of God, or the Sophia of the Christ. Wisdom is a holy treasure. It keeps your life aligned with heaven. And God gives wisdom generously. I was then given the book of James, which is why I'm wearing the shirt. This is my older brother when he was a child. My mother made this shirt, and now I have it. So James was a whole gangster. Wow. He did not mince words. He was very clear in his gospel. Wow. So we will start there. James 1 verse 5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given to him. Chapter 2, verse 10. For whosoever shall keep the whole law, yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. Meaning, if a person holds a vow of covenant with a spouse, this person is within the covenant with God. However, if this same person chooses to kill, as killing being one going against one law of the covenant, he is then guilty of all, because he is not holding the sanctity of the covenant. He is breaking it, or she. Chapter 2, verse 17. Even so, faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone. Faith without works is dead. Chapter 2, verse 26. For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. Chapter 3, verse 2. If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man, and able also to bridle or control the whole body. Behold, we put bits in the horses' mouths, that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body. Here he is referring to the power of the tongue, speaking blessings versus speaking curses. And he is saying that one cannot do both. And a man who's able to control his speech controls his entire being. Chapter 3, verse 17. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. Chapter 3, verse 18. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace, of them that make peace. Chapter 4, verse 16 through 17. But now ye rejoice in your boastings. All such rejoicing is evil. Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. To knoweth good, but not doeth good, this is sin. And to be clear, which I will get into shortly, sin is an action. It is a choice. It is a road to death. Okay. Chapter 5, verse 19 through 20. Brethren, if any of you do err from the truth, and one convert him, let him know that which converteth the sinner from the error of his way shall save a soul from death, and shall cover a multitude of sins. Now we are going to go to Proverbs 13:20. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. And I am thinking of political leaders at the moment. Evil pursueth sinners, but to the righteous good shall be repaid. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. And what I'm getting from this, a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children. This is passing down knowledge and wisdom and practice, which is true wealth. It is the highest value. Versus the wealth of a sinner is laid up for the just, as in this sinner has faced judgment and has had to sacrifice his or her wealth. So, in other words, the wealth is removed in the end anyway. It is given as payment for sins committed. Chapter 13, verse 25. The righteous eateth to the satisfying of his soul, but the belly of the wicked shall want. Only a person who knows God experiences satisfaction and fulfillment. Someone who has turned away from God knows only need and want and is never satisfied because they are seeking outside of themselves to fill the hole where God once was, which cannot be filled with material possessions, items. Okay, so I looked up the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, okay, which was the first message that I got, and the 7 levels of the soul. Now, today's a 7-day to refresh your memory. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene is a 2nd century Gnostic text, likely written in Greek, that presents a post-resurrection dialogue between Jesus and his disciples, notably highlighting Mary Magdalene as a preferred recipient of special teachings. It contrasts with canonical Gospels, or Gospels within the canon, by focusing on inner spiritual knowledge, or gnosis, rather than narratives of Jesus' life, emphasizing the soul's liberation from matter. The most complete is the Berlin Codex 8502-1, which is missing pages 1 through 6 and 11 through 14, which represents nearly half of the manuscript. These texts were discovered and later translated after the fact. And so, due to war and time and mishandling, a portion of them was lost. So, as I wrote this, the missing pages, the instruction that I received was that I would fill in the gaps or the missing pages. So I was then taken to the information regarding the 7 virtues versus the 7 deadly sins. Again, 7, 7. Dark and light. And what I got was that the 7 virtues, or the 7 angels, is where we descend through to this earthly plane. And the 7 virtues, or the 7 angels, is, like I said earlier, the reflection upon reflection that goes on infinitely. The mirror, viewing itself. These actions and or state of being are the pathways to heaven for the soul to move through. The reverse of that is the 7 deadly sins, or otherwise known as the 7 acts of death, or the, quote, roads to death. Now, the 7 deadly sins is what we rise through to ascend to heaven. Now, this gospel refers to, this text centers on a vision Mary shares with the disciples and her encouragement to them after Jesus departs. The teachings focus on the idea that the soul is freed through knowledge, and that inner spiritual reality is superior to the physical world. This is because what exists on the physical plane was first created on the spiritual plane. Therefore, our focus must be there first. It moves from heaven into physical reality, or the physical plane, or the 3D plane. So our focus must be at the creation point, which isn't here. The nature of sin, quote, sin does not exist inherently, but is created when humans act according to their lower material nature. Therefore, sin is an action. It is a choice. It does not hold power. Only death. Death by one's own hand, to be precise. It also talks about, this gospel, the soul's journey, describes the soul's passing through 7 powers of wrath to achieve final rest. So, the 7 deadly sins being the road to death, and the 7 virtues, or the 7 angels, being the pathway to heaven, or the pathway, 2828 angel number, that's a good one too, the pathway to immortality, or eternal life, or building the immortal body. So, the 7 sins are arrogance, okay, so according to the text, it is, the first one is ignorance. But as I wrote them down, I clarified a bit. So ignorance is actually arrogance, and the negative aspect of pride. Believing that you know best, therefore cutting yourself off from receiving new information, more accurate information. I'm hearing it'll get you killed quick. I don't know. Greed, which comes forward as dominance, okay? This hunger for power over. external power, and an insatiable appetite for it. Gluttony and lust. Gluttony moves through lies and deception, always wanting more and making a reason why that is allowed. Ignoring the destruction to self with a lie, explaining it away with a lie or a deception. Wrath, seeking revenge. Lust for killing or causing pain, retribution. And an individual, group, or country that attacks is in this energy. It is not an energy of God. God protects and defends. He does not attack. Because if defense is not required, then there is room for wisdom to enter. There is time for a change of decision to be made. Envy. This is related to survival of the fittest. It's not being inspired. It is desiring to take what someone else has for themselves rather than create it themselves. See where I'm going with this? We touched on lust, unbridled desire, at any cost. And it's a type of desire that's never satisfied because it's only interested in the rush of the lust, the fire of the lust. It is not prepared to offer anything past that point. Okay? And the last, sloth. A lack of effort. This is associated with darkness. No spark of inspiration. It is gone. No light. Someone who is in darkness does not act in a manner that is nourishing to anyone. Okay. Conversely, we have the 7 virtues, or we'll stick with 7 virtues, because when I heard 7 angels, I was given a vision of the human soul within the body of an angel, and that angel being in the body of another angel, and that angel being in the body of another angel, and so on and so forth. And as you rise, you move through the bodies of these angels. Okay, so the 7 virtues: humility, seeking knowledge, inner peace or being a peacemaker, one in the same. A person that does not know peace cannot give it. So, and a person who is okay, I'm trying to think of humility in a different form, and I'm hearing the word humane over and over again. Humane. Human. Sovereign. But a person who is humble is a person who is wise. A person who understands that they don't know everything. And that's okay. It's not a contest. You know what need to know. You can only do so much at one time. It's not about achieving all the information and hiding and storing it away in your own little internal library, and you're the best and everyone needs to worship you. Who does that sound like? No, that would be arrogance, pride, and in fact, ignorance. Next virtue is charity, love, generosity, desire to support because it creates upliftment for all. Generosity, being generous of heart, generous of spirit, is one of the highest virtues because it is a genuine desire. It is a genuine act of unconditional love for the benefit of experiencing unconditional love. It is a very high level of development to truly embody that and to implement and demonstrate that. Powerful. Next, we have chastity, purity, holding oneself sacred, honor, and sovereignty. Next, we have kindness, which is love as an action. but also truth. Truth in a manner that feels like love to receive. Next, we have temperance or balance, wisdom, peace, inner peace, alchemy. Alchemy happens when you have knowledge or wisdom to understand the gift that was in the pain and transform it. Next, we have patience, divine timing, understanding that this is a co-creation. You are on God's time. You are on divine time. You are expected to contribute, and you have no choice but to adhere to a higher time table for your best and highest good, of course, because the main idea is for you to be successful. That's the goal of God. But you have a choice. And you can choose to destroy yourself. And the last virtue is diligence, commitment. To do what you say you're going to do. That is so respectable, admirable, strong. You know, you can't influence a person like that. You cannot uh, sway them. Lastly, we have the 7 virtues, or let me start again. 7 virtues of the soul, or the 7 angels. Purity, peace, love, joy, bliss, power, and knowledge. 43. That is the message. Feel free to reference anything that I have mentioned. And as always, I'm sending all of my love and support. And things are shifting very rapidly right now. Very rapidly. There's a Bible verse, God, we don't know what to do, but our eyes are on you. Your relationship with God is an inward journey. No one can give it to you, and no one can take it away. This is an internal process. Anyone can do it. And when it comes to being taught, being led, which was the original idea or purpose of the church, the shepherd tends his flock. Okay? The teacher gives wisdom, and it is a safe community where people can develop to become greater people. This was the original purpose. Every single human being that is incarnated began this process as pure light. Period. And through our own choices, according to what we came here to do. Some of us came in with karma to clear. Some of us came in with the intention to clear someone else's karma, or many someone else's karma. However, we come in pure. And we leave that way as well, actually. Because even a darkened soul that slowly dies, it is purified in the end. It does return to pure light. It has to start over, like completely, but God is the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega, the start and the finish. There is no way around that. And people that choose to harm, manipulate, or stunt, silence, they will receive the mirror effect of their actions. It's happening already. Again, this is a reset. This is a cosmic reset that is moving up the spiral, which means we are at a more spiritual place. And things are changing rapidly. Rapidly. Perception and understanding is shifting rapidly because truth will do that to you. It requires no defense. And it only needs to be spoken once. It stands on its own because it stands with God. On that note, I'm wishing everyone a wonderful Saturday evening and Sunday tomorrow. Sending all my love and some softness your way. And I will talk to you soon.